Oh. Alright. Seeing if it's streaming. Yep. Okay, cool. I just have an iPad that I have streaming next to me, so I know that it's running. Alright, so this week what I wanted to do is I didn't want to do the tower again, just because honestly I got sick of looking at the project, and because I don't have to, so I'm not going to. I said details, but there's something that I caught with the new actually I'll just show you, because this is kind of, it'll tie in later, but we're just going to create a not O, but geometry. It's going to do a sphere. Let's do like 10. I know we're just diving right into it. David, one day your rail project will see the light of day. Hold on, I want to, let me try something here. Ooh, it's just like Twitch now. Except pretty sure once I did that, yeah. Damn it. Well, there was an attempt. Alright. Anyways, back to this. We're just going to do a whole standard scatter thing of like 50. And if you haven't caught on, we're just doing a Voronoi fracture. Fracture. And required geometry, blah, blah, blah. So they added this new thing into the I almost said RGB, the RBD thing. Let me do less so that we can see. I'm just going to do 5. All right. This isn't the coolest thing in the world, but that's not what I'm showing. So RBD Interior detail. So they added this guy, which is pretty cool because, I'll turn it down. Let's see. It'll read the inside attribute that's created when you do the Voronoi fracture. So you have an outside and inside fact. Of course, the one time I go to use that, it doesn't show. But it allows you to add details, which, let's add some noise. That is not looking good. Just go to visualize. Huh, that's interesting. So the way that you used to have to do this was, in fact, let's see something. I actually haven't dove into it. You used to have to create an SDF, and basically it would create a gradient. I'm not going to get into what a gradient is, but it's not what you think. It's not. I mean, it is and it isn't. However, I wonder why. Yeah, I was having problems with this because one of the things I wanted to go over was just taking your sim, which I'm just going to set up a really quick one, and then essentially taking the points, only the points, the transforms from it, and then casting it onto these points. However, when I kept trying to do it, it was not working at all. So let's see. So yeah, this apparently if it, oh, you know what, actually, sorry, this could be, oh, here we go. I screwed up on this part, but so here, well, that's like insane. So yeah, the old way is that it used to be, so what's happening is I'm pretty sure is it's just creating a, however it's doing, it's creating an SDF. So essentially if we turn off this exploded view, you get these nice, perfectly like watertight edges. But the thing is, again, is that I wanted to do this after the sim and I just was not working. So if anybody figures this out, I have no idea like how to do it after the fact. I only know the old way, which I don't remember off the top of my head because I haven't done it in a while. But this is a neat feature because you don't have to set it up and do this whole SDF to color and then set a fall off. So here's just the caveat of, hey, you could add detail, it's just not working. I'm still gonna try doing it after the fact though. All right, so let me just get some geometry in here. I'm just gonna use Crag, this guy, and not gonna use the hammer. I don't want the shader, I don't want the hammer. Well, because I want to show, not add, sorry. You know, I still haven't got a mic stand or a thingy. I should do that because my hands are still in front of me. All right, let's add some normals. Oh, not game dev, sorry. All right, and then we're gonna go back to doing we're gonna do an assemble. And I already came up with the best name for this. Crag Frag. Try to beat that. I don't know that anyone could. Okay, and then we're gonna do a, for each named blah point. Pretty sure. Just check this guy. Oh. Just there, and then what we'll do inside it is we'll do an unpack. If I did this correctly, which I'm not thinking I did. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I always choose the wrong one. Okay, so for each named, you know what? There we go. So even though it's a point, or it's a packed primitive, so I guess technically it is. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat what I just did, which is VDB from and I'm not going to do the ultra awesome cool slicey way because just for time, but let's do a scatter because I want this to be more casual, not like last week's that was a train wreck. And then we'll do Voronoi fracture. So here you go. You're just getting the old gross fractures. But what is cool, if you may notice this, even though this is from last week already, is that you can see that it already has the constraint thing on there, so that's pretty neat. Which I don't know why I'm saying it's neat, because it's been on there since the second video, but let's do exploded view. So here we go. We essentially have exactly what we have before. We have this inside outside group. All right. Now, if I do the exact same thing, it's still going to work, which I want to do the RBD interior detail. So, okay. So long-winded way to get to it. So, up. Phone's ringing, but I'm not answering it. I'm just going to talk through. So, so someone in Miami's calling me. Okay, so here is sort of the problem, is that this would be our high-res geo, and I don't want to sim that. What I want to do is take this next step and then apply it to the simmed geometry, and that's essentially the problem that I'm having that's not working. So we're just gonna take this guy out. I'm gonna do a very simple, super simple sim on this, which is I'm just gonna have him collapsed from top to bottom. You'll be amazed. So we're just going to do an attribute wrangle. Okay, and then let's just type some stuff. So we'll just do float. I'll call this threshold. I'll do this all like very long-winded, so you don't have to do CHF, like channel float, but just so it's there. We'll call this we'll call it height. Okay, and then if the position of y, so in Houdini, the up and down, is greater than the threshold, then we'll make it active. So it's just an integer again. So active is going to be equal to 1 instead of 0. And you know what? We'll just keep it at this. I had other stuff on it, but I'll just keep it at this. And then we'll just do a DOP network. One thing I hate about Houdini, or not Houdini so much, but because everything is alphabetical order, and whenever I want to do, you hit tab, obviously, hit tab, and then you start typing DOP. I just want it to go to DOP network. I wish DOP network went to the top, even though I know it's out of alphabetical order. I can't stand it. The amount of times I'm like, oh, DOP, IO, Okay, so here we go. We're gonna just set up a ground, a merge, RBD packed, rigid body solver, gravity, and then we'll go to that's fine, create first context geometry. Now, I forgot about this one thing before, and actually, let me go back here because I have to actually add this. So when you add the channel and then you click this, it'll automatically add it. So I'm just going to do 20 minus $F. And to see what that's doing, just watch here. It's on point. So Oh, hold on. Our guy's running off. We don't want that. I just want the animation frame on 1. Okay. So if you watch this guy over here, that's all essentially it's doing. It's just doing a number. So once it gets within that threshold, it'll be activated and then it should fall. So I'm going to press play and nothing's going to happen. Oh no, what do we do? Well, first of all, I should probably pack it. So let's do assemble. Frag Crag, or was it Crag Frag? I don't care. Whatever. It's still the best. Okay. Now there's this guy in here that's actually helpful. If you hit overwrite attribute, you'll see active. This way we don't have to do like a SOP solver that's going to read it in each frame. I think it's just a shorthand, which is actually really useful. And I think it's from the first video when I was putting it into these active groups and all of that to bring it in, and then I don't remember honestly, but this is a way around that. So let's just press play. So there you go. So it's just gonna work. Okay, so hypothetically, if this was our tower, okay. So Crag Frag is gonna be our tower. What you would be able to do, because so if you're not doing any secondary like animation, and this is what's confusing me about it, is that this, well, let me go to the next step first of all. Okay, so I'm just gonna, so I have this guy simmed. Cool. Okay, and you can see that it's just the standard Voronoi pieces. It's nothing special. Now, I don't want, for speed, I don't want to have to sim, especially the interior detail. I don't want to have to worry about that. So what you could do, and what I would do is, it's kind of odd in a way because you kind of still have to sim it, but then you could actually, I guess, just export the higher res one. Anyways, they it's not that they added this so much, it's more that they, so this used to be, I'm pretty sure, extract. Yeah, so it lies out here, but now they put it within. And what you could do now is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is a time shift. We're going to go to the first frame. We're going to delete the channel, and this will begin to make sense. And then I have to add an assemble because we need the same amount of points. So let's call this guy rock. No, frag. I almost changed it to crag, but, and all I'm doing, the reason I'm doing that is actually, so this is just making a mask, okay? So essentially anything that's in here, you're just calling out the node, and then boom, it's going there. It's not really that crazy. Hold on. All right. So we got this guy. I'm just going to transfer all the attributes because it's the exact same thing. Now you'll notice nothing is happening because it's the first frame. However, let's go to the Extract Transform. And this might work, it might not. It should work, but I keep getting it all confused. So we're going to use the piece attribute, which is the name. And then, if it's not primitive, okay, so here we go. So I think the picture's kind of being painted a bit better now. So what you could do now is take this guy, you could just export out the transform data So now you only have points. In fact, let's look. Let's see the, so 33 kilobytes versus, I mean, this isn't fair because it's not the whole sim. 247, wow. But like, you could see how that could be useful on a big one, like a huge sim. However, this is where the matching points come in. So again, if a pack primitive is essentially, let's go here, and of course it won't show. So essentially a pack primitive is taking that each primitive and then just, what we're going to see is that it's not technically turning into a single point. It's almost like it's like, hey, each point is sort of like a folder of data. So it's more, what's the word I'm looking for? It is more economical. We'll go with that. Okay, so the last step would honestly be transform pieces. Now, if we did this right, which we did not, there, it's done. And that's how you make a rock monster breakdance. Let's see. There we go. Sorry, I packed it. It just has to have the same attributes going across. So now essentially all this is doing is, it's not simming, it's just taking these points, okay, because they don't deform and it doesn't work on deforming geo. Let me get out of this view. So it's just taking those points, right? And now pasting it on there. So oh, that's creepy. My iPad just heard me say the S word, which I'm sure you've heard. But yeah, I would definitely recommend if you're doing, I mean, this is what I would do. It used to be a different way, but again, they've made this easier. So pretty much anything with these like 3 inputs now, or multiple inputs, more than 2 that aren't wrangles or subnetworks, it's almost like, oh, cool, what surprises can I find once I dive in? But this is, again, the part that kind of annoys me because, let's see. So, because I was just having so many problems with this. So we have an outside group, but we don't have an inside group. So it's weird. I don't know what happened to it, because if I pack it, I could do an attribute transfer, but it won't, I don't know, it won't work. So let's just see. So up here we have the inside, which apparently nothing's in it, but so you see the problem? It doesn't work. But oh, not exploded view, sorry. So again, if this makes any sense, could you see what the problem is here that I'm having? Now, I'm wondering if it's happening also because it's not exported, but that seems weird to me, because if I just have it on this frame, I should still have an inside group. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it to work. No. Yep. Yeah, see, it's super odd because point attribute. Essentially, it's just searching for a matching point, and that's why I don't understand, because we're not, if it is packed, we're not adding any extra thing. So if anyone's watching or wondering or runs into this, I don't know, go figure. But with that said, this would basically be it. I did want to go into secondaries, but I kind of want to do that on like a different project, just because, again, the other one was so like just, you know, heavy. So I don't know. So let's go back to the original here, the one that actually works. There you go. Ready? In fact, show you one thing. I wouldn't recommend this, but you could cache it out if you have the RAM. So you're gonna sit here and watch it. I should probably go through the chat too. Yeah, you know what? I stopped making coffee because it started getting really gross, and I was gagging when I was like within. See, it felt like 10 minutes would go by, but it was like 30 minutes, and it wasn't worth it. But I love coffee. Okay, so here we go. We have this cache sim. Now we have this guy. And there it is. But let's try something. Because this is Houdini, so if these are indeed just points, I'm gonna let's pretend we are in Cinema 4D. So ooh, look at, ready? Look at that. Look how quick we can make a plexus. It kind of looks like a hunchback though. Like, kill me. So let's see. What else could we do? I'm just gonna, I think what I'll do is I'll just take the next 15 minutes and we'll just make whatever. So let's take a platonic solid. Copy to points. Target points to copy to. Do I have it backwards? No. That's actually interesting because There we go. Look at that. I mean, they're not following the orientation, but doesn't matter. So that's our cool crag frag guy. But yeah, I think I'll end it there. I don't even know how long I've been streaming. Let's see. I have no idea of knowing. Oh wait, yes I do. It's been about a half. Wow, it's been a half hour. I would answer questions, and if I don't know the answer, I'm just gonna ask David in the chat, because he knows. And this is Brandon right here, and it is so synthy. It kind of doesn't match. I was getting death threats about how it I should have neon and all of that. And I tempted to render this out, but the thing is, so I have Redshift, and then I haven't done this in a while. Not Redshift, but I have to restart it. So, and I think because the recording, it is using this guy here, and I don't feel like restarting Houdini. Yeah, see, I'd have to restart it. All right, so I think I just deleted that. Let me open this back up. All right, any questions about RBD, RGB, rigid bodies? I'm putting the chat on here, that way if when someone watches this later, I'm not just like, is anybody out there? Hello? Okay, I'm just assuming everybody just knows everything about physics. All right, guys. Well, if that's it, then this will be the end of the whole little rigid body Houdini thingy. And oh man, if you have a question, yeah. See, that's exactly it. So, I should have actually mentioned that. The chat, so that was the other thing about the, hold on, let me undelete frag. Hold on, where's it at? So here's the thing too. So this guy right here, or is it here? Which one? Give me 1 second. So okay, so the interior detail guy, this is what kind of is weirding me out about it. And I'm reading this question here. And by the way, today is actually Matt's birthday. So if he's seeing it, so happy birthday if he ever sees this. But this is why it weirds me out, because it has this extra slot here for proxy geometry, so low res geo that you could carry along with it. That's why I'm kind of confused as to why when we have our, let me just go back to this. Or is that the SDF one? Sorry, it's the third. So technically we could carry these both downstream, but I cannot figure out what it is that I'm doing wrong. And in fact, I looked at the documentation, and pretty much the way that they're showing it being used is to hey, guess what? Fracture your stuff, plug it in, get the extra detail. But other than that, I haven't seen, and I can't figure out a way to just apply it because it doesn't make sense to me, and there has to be something. Because there's no way that you want to add all the detail first and then do it, sim it, and then, I don't know. You're making more work that way. It's all supposed to be cheats, so that's, I don't know. So this is the one thing I haven't figured out. If I do, I'll probably make a video about it because it's been annoying me for the past day. Because I mean, this is awesome. Because again, the whole SDF way that you used to have to do, and in fact, if you, the old way was who had it? Stephen Nipping had it in one of his training videos about how to do it, and it was neat, but it literally worked the exact same way. It's just creating SDF, and then you could push the fall off closer to the edge the more you wanted it. That way it would always have a perfect like cusp angle or whatever. You didn't have these awkward normals. So I'm not sure how that works again, and I feel like now I'm just repeating myself. So I wish I could have an answer for you, and I was literally on here as that my cool synth music was playing. I was still just messing around in Houdini, just trying to get the connections right or pass something, but I could not get it figured out. So, all right, guys, that's all. I did ask about like other stuff, and someone said like particles. Someone said VDB stuff, but I don't know. I'll have to wait and gather. Maybe I'll do a poll or something and gather which one people want, because particles is weird because it's sort of, I mean, like what type of stuff? Like particles are just, I mean, I don't know. I did think of one thing, which is I did it before and I don't remember what I used it on, but it was sparks. And they would essentially use the points, and then based on its trajectory, velocity, they would scale, and then you would just use a what do you call it? Like a curve, and then you can make it to where essentially you're making like I don't even know if this is an actual word, but a lathable shape to where you could basically form it, and then it would expand, contract based on all of that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see everything. So I'm just going to try something really quick. I'm just going to hit this. Oh, it didn't do it. Wait. Whoop. Nope. It didn't do it. So, okay, guys. So if there's no further questions, I guess this will conclude it. Actually, you know what? I think what I might do, it'll have to be, because I'm going to be starting a project soon, but maybe 2 weeks from now, I'll do secondary particles. So it'll still be a collision thing, so you'll have breaky things. And then I'll start with like sparks and then do like little secondary things or whatever. And it's not so much that they're difficult to do, it's just more being creative about it and making cool artistic-y points that look like things. So all right, guys, so if you watched all of these, thank you. Maybe consider liking and subscribing. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. And I'm going to be 100% honest. I still don't know what that bell icon does, even though I see it in every video and everybody pushes it like it's crack. So I don't know, because who knows? I guess it alerts you, but I've pressed it and I've never been alerted, so I don't know. So, so again, thank you guys for watching this, and I am going to end it there, and it's a great way to stay in shape. So, hope you enjoyed it. Later.